Fresh Start Worlds are coming to Old School in October. That is an actual factual statement. They are coming out in October. I highly doubt Jagex is going to revert their decision, even though there's been a tidal wave of backlash. Well, not really backlash, but just people wondering what's the point. So, in today's Ramble, we're going to be talking about everything Fresh Start, or what's this called? Fresh Start Worlds. And so, but first, we're going to talk about what it is. So, we're going to go to the original post posted by Aiza on RuneScape site. And then I actually posted a tweet. So, by the way, guys, go down in the description, follow my Twitter, because I kind of want to do things like this in the future, where I pretty much ask people on Twitter to give me topics for the rambles. And also, as you guys notice, my face cam is up for this ramble. We're trying a few things out. And also, guys, before we jump into this, drop a like and be sure to sub if you're new here. All right. Let's start off. Well, for here first. First, let's read the tweet. This is what I saw when I first woke up this morning. Fresh Start Worlds are coming to Old School in October. While we aren't quite ready to share our full announcement just yet, we've created this handy frequently asked questions if you want to learn more. I feel like they've already disclosed everything, but let's just go into it. So, I'll also be blowing glass in the background. Hope you guys don't mind. Let's talk about it. Okay, you may have seen the joint announcement for Fresh Start Worlds with RuneScape FSW, which is Fresh Start Worlds, launching on September 12th and Old School RuneScape in October. So they're doing one for RS3 and Old School. And I think on Reddit, I don't know if you guys follow the 2000 Save Reddit, they actually mentioned something about a leagues. This is it. I mean, they're making a Fresh Start World for RuneScape, but there's microtransactions and all that shit, but we don't have to deal with that, luckily. Hopefully. Or we're not, right? I use a promised. Anyway, well, we aren't ready to properly dive into Fresh Start Worlds for Old School. You'll hear more about them next month. Okay, so we're going to hear more information next month. They'll probably make some changes too. Hopefully this ramble will give some insight, to see what the community truly wants. Do we even want this? I mean, inevitably people are going to play this. I'll probably play it as is right now. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's read this thing first. Okay, we want to take this opportunity to answer some of the questions we think you may have for us. What are Fresh Start Worlds? Fresh Start Worlds are just a way to play old school RuneScape that you love, but on a fresh world with a fresh economy, fresh high scores, and on a level playing field. It isn't a new game mode like Leagues or Deadman, and there's no new content, rewards, or anything like that. Sounds pretty fucking basic so far, but let's hear him out. Or not him out, let's hear Jagex out. Okay. Who can play Fresh Start Worlds in Old School, and how long does it last? Old School Fresh Start Worlds will be available to play for 6 months total. It's going to be available for both free-to-play players and members, and only new accounts will be able to play on a Fresh Start World. We're treating this as a way to help attract new and returning players and to help keep them engaged. That's why after 6 months, we'll be migrating their fresh accounts to normal main game accounts. Though, if a fresh account wants to migrate to an account earlier, they'll have the option to do just that. So you're not locked into a 6-month mode. You have to be a main, first of all, and you can leave whenever you want back to the actual mainland. There's going to be a mainland there, but like the actual main worlds, What are the differences between a Fresh Start world and a normal game world? There aren't many. One notable difference is that Iron Man mode will not be available to play, as I just stated. But there's no accelerated XP rates or item drop rates or anything like that. The core gameplay remains the same, but there is a fresh economy, fresh high scores, and only new accounts can play on them. Which, that does sound kind of exciting. I'm not going to lie, fresh high scores, fresh economy, that sounds cool. We'll get into my thoughts on it later. Okay, why are you doing Fresh Start Worlds? This will be covered in more detail next month, but simply, Fresh Start Worlds are aimed at new players and players who haven't played old school RuneScape for a long time. So, like, literally everybody. We know from things like the mobile release that there's something special about doing something for the first time, alongside a lot of other players all doing the same thing. We think Fresh Start Worlds could help us capture that moment. Who are Fresh Start Worlds for? I feel like we're just like going around in circles right now. It's for people who haven't played old school RuneScape and are waiting for the right opportunity to play, and for those who played the game a while ago and are yet to return. We've done a bit of research which shows that this type of fresh start could be quite appealing to those players. Given that fresh start worlds require minimal development time, we want to test out this theory and see whether we're right. We know that some of you dedicated players might relish in the chance to compete on a fresh set of high scores or to corner the market on a new economy, but for the most part, you'll be probably busy with Tombs of a Mascot, and that's fine. I'm assuming Tombs of a Mascot in the fresh start world. I think that's what they're trying to... I don't know where they're trying to say with that. Fresh start worlds have been built with a new and returning players in mind, and that's why we aren't adding rewards or treating this like a new game mode. We understand you want to know what's coming after a new raid, and that's why we're currently planning our next summit to share just what lies ahead for Old School. That's cool. So the summit, for those that are unaware, they did a summer summit last year, I think, where it was basically just a rune fest, you know, like a virtual rune fest. Nobody could go to it, but they give all their announcements, and that's being planned for next month. Very exciting, by the way, because I'm pretty sure they're going to share updates for up until like into 2023. So we understand. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Why can only new accounts play on fresh start worlds? Since this is for new players or those who have played for a very long time. Again, like we've heard this. We've been trying to answer the question of how can we encourage these players to keep them playing the main game once they're finished with the fresh start worlds. Okay, I probably butchered that. And we think that migrating the account progress will help us to achieve this. The way that the account migration will work means that only new accounts can play on these worlds. Okay, we got that. When will we hear about fresh start worlds? Jesus Christ. Fresh start worlds for Old School are still some way away from release, and we expect to begin talking about them in more detail in mid to late September. In the meantime, we'll update this frequently asked questions if we feel like there are pressing questions that we should answer. I'm looking forward to more of these. Okay, anyway, that's pretty much the gist. So if you guys skipped over that part, probably, I mean, we've already been doing this ramble for fucking 7 minutes. It's basically just a 6-month window where you can play a game on a different world where everyone has to start fresh. And you cannot play on any current account you have. You must create a brand new Jagex account. Or not a Jagex. I don't know how that works exactly. With the Jagex launcher, I think you have one like Jagex account, and then you just like link your other accounts there and you can play. But what I'm saying is you'll have to make a brand new account. With it, unless you're playing free to play, you're going to have to pay, you know, an additional membership, which is fair. I mean, it is a business at the end of the day. Now, on the tweet Jagex sent out, there was not many good things. In fact, a lot of people were just really butthurt. I'm not going to go into this because there is how many comments? Wherever it shows that. It's supposed to show it somewhere. I'm not going to show you who I've muted, by the way. Although you could probably fucking go into the... Okay, anyway. Anyway, basically people are saying this shit sucks. Nobody cares. Putting weird, like, what is this guy? A potato? I thought he was a minion. Yeah, I mean, come on. Even Steph Curry's getting butthurt, you know, like this is not a good sign. Anyway, so I'm just going to briefly just show, even Iron Queen, big thumbs down, 53 likes on that, you know, a simple emoji getting 53 likes is something. Basically, all the JMod responses are what we just read in the frequently asked questions, so there's nothing really new. All I'm saying is there is a lot of people thinking this is a horrible idea. And who knows? Maybe it's... I'll fully admit, in my own opinion, I don't think this is the greatest idea Jagex has ever had. Probably in the middle somewhere. But I decided to make a tweet, or a thread, I should say. Well, I tweeted out, hey, I'll be making a long ramble today on the topic of Fresh Start World. Sorry, I uploaded it very late. I had to watch the very last episode of Better Call Saul, which, by the way, fantastic finish. Greatest show. I think Better Call Saul is the greatest show of all time. It barely trumps Breaking Bad. At me down in the comments if you guys disagree with that. I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on the idea and what you'd like to see change or what you'd like to see in its place. Let me know in the thread and I'll give you a shout out. So we are going to be covering every single one of these. There'll probably be some repeats. I'll go over them quickly if they're kind of repeats. But let's talk about this a little bit. So, um, yeah, I'm just gonna go into these. I'm gonna like basically respond to every single tweet, and then at the end, I want to share my thoughts on some of my ideas that weren't brought up. So bear with me. Joey Cook. I don't really understand who this appeals to, but if it takes minimal dev effort, brings Jagex more money, and doesn't negatively impact anyone, then I think it's a good idea. That's kind of, yeah, that's the most based thing I've ever heard, is just like, who the fuck cares? Like, why are people getting angry? Especially when people are saying, like, fix your servers instead of it. It's like, this literally takes 0 dev time. Like, is like nothing. In fact, it'll generate more money. So hopefully we, in a perfect world, we would hope that money would go to, fixing the servers after almost a decade. But yeah, Dabe, Low Soul Gamers. Personally, no issue with them. It surprises me that people think it will dramatically impact the game when it's just the same as people playing the main game. Yeah, exactly. There are, little differences with the economy where it comes to, like, elitist players just going to the temporary game mode and then shoving everything to the main game mode. But, like, it's just whatever. The temporary aspect is a little weird, but it would be cool to see legitimate from-scratch races to certain bosses. Though obviously, as a main, you can just take donos and stuff, which would kind of ruin the fun of the race. Now, I'm going to be honest. I kind of like that it's everyone's a main. That's actually the most refreshing part about this, in my opinion, is that there's not 80 different game modes going on. It's one game mode. Everyone starts out fresh. Everyone can trade. Everyone can use the Grand Exchange. Brand new economy. That sounds very exciting. Now, I'm not going to speak too soon about my opinions and what I'd like to see change and how I see it all. We're going to continue, but I'll give my little thoughts as we continue. PM, or at Engineer PM, says, I'm super interested in knowing what new players were just waiting for a fresh start. I'm super interested in knowing what new players were just waiting for a fresh start server to play again. Are best in slot Chads rude and intimidating? Best in slot Chads? What the fuck? Or is the access to the GE too complicated? I'm so confused what this offers that an entity hider doesn't. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Bit lost there, but I think I got what he's saying. Basically, like, who wants this, basically. Runecraft. I'm just not sure who this is for. Shuts down after 6 months, then migrates to the current game. Why even play outside of the main game at that point? RS3 is doing it with cosmetics that transfer over, but ours is nothing. Not that I'm saying cosmetics should come from it. See, here's my thing. Because it isn't a league, don't try to blend this with a league. That's my personal take. If they are coming out with what they're coming out verbatim, like, please don't give rewards, because then it really will encourage, especially if they're tradable rewards, that will definitely encourage botting and definitely encourage people just fucking going in there and treating the game mode as a sandbox where, hey, I can fucking cheat all I want because it's a temporary game mode. Just 6 months, just fucking do whatever I want. I'm speaking too soon. Obviously, I keep doing it, but I'm worried about any incentive to go on this mode. In my personal opinion, I think no incentives will make it a more legitimate experience where botting isn't quite. I'm assuming botting is inevitable. People are going to bot on it, especially if it's a brand new account that's like not even attached to your other accounts. I can see malicious activity going on. Hopefully not. Hopefully there's a lot of activity with the anti-cheat team on the Worlds if this does come out verbatim. Let's see. Bart says, low dev time, no real loss here, so it's worth trying. I'm surprised at the amount of hate it gets. Based, very based. Yeah. If people want to do it, go for it. If people don't. That's literally it. It's not affecting anybody, really. It's just something. They're trying it. They were very clear about it. They're just trying this. They took some research, and they realized that there is some interest in this. We'll talk about variations of this kind of thing that could be better, and at least in my opinion, and people that I've already kind of talked to. I wasn't live today, so I don't really have a huge grasp. I browsed Reddit. I browsed Twitter, of course. Kind of got a gist of what the community feels about this, but I haven't talked to everybody. So By the way, guys, down in the comments below, right here in this video, let me know what you guys think. Also, follow me on Twitter because I'm going to do things like this in the future where I get people, on Twitter, and then we can talk about it on the Ramble. Uberu, shout out Uberu, says, interesting concept. However, I don't think it's going to make long-term unless OSR is actually fully shut down or its concept was remade into vanilla servers. Definitely agree with Manic on how it seems like a cash grab for those who see competitive nature of seasonal game modes. Totally fine. It's a business. But yeah, I mean, it's also totally fine to admit that it's a cash grab because it really does sound like that. But, who the fuck cares? Don't do it. Seems like they're capitalizing on nostalgia of fresh economy. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. That's literally what they stated as well. There's a desire from part of the community that really wants fresh high scores and fresh economy. Sorry to sound so sarcastic. Uber is, he's a regular in my stream. He pops in here and there, and so I can do this to him. Again, it's going to the thing of like, why do this when you can work on servers? This is going to generate money for Jagex. It's not going to cost them anything. As you just said in your previous tweet, it's a cash grab. So they're getting cash instead of spending cash. And then hopefully, with the money, they could fix the servers. That would be great. Okay. And McAdams says, curious to see if it works. I think if they advertise it properly, it could be quite attractive for returning players, could allow for some interesting MMO economics, gameplay that I don't think exists in the main game, especially if there are only a few servers, cornering markets, etc. Okay. Yeah. I think it does attract a portion of the player base. And in fact, I think a lot of the people that are just, jumping on the bandwagon saying this is a shit idea, I'm pretty sure a lot of them will play. I'm not saying they're going to play the full 6 months, but I'm certain that if this concept that Jagex has already proposed comes out as proposed right now, a fuck ton of people are going to play it on release because it's going to be the most hype thing ever. Bodie's going to be doing it. Foe's going to be doing it. Every fucking streamer and YouTuber is going to be doing it. Solo Mission, Torvesta, everybody. And then every other player is going to start doing it. But yeah, like, is everyone going to do it forever? No, but with the amount of hate, this is my own speculation. With the amount of hate I'm seeing, I'm going to just throw out a number. 90% of those haters that are actively hating on it are going to play it. So Jagex is just sitting back like fucking sunglasses on. Like they don't give a shit. Everyone says the cash grab, yet everyone's just going to do it anyway. So that's my opinion because it's literally all the same content, except it's brand new and you get to see all your favorite streamers and content creators. I'm going to do it. People are going to do it. Like, you're just going to do it. And I am like one of the people that would most likely not do it because I fucking hate new accounts. I hate questing. I hate doing that shit. But you know what does sound fun? Being a main for 6 months. I have not played as a main account in so goddamn long. I think the last time I played a main was 2016, like November. Because yeah, as soon as I started a hardcore, it was done. I never played a main since. So literally end of 2016 was when 2016. I forgot what it's like to trade people and to interact with people and use the Grand Exchange. Literally, I struggle using that Grand Exchange. You guys should have seen me. We did a 100 mil giveaway in my stream. By the way, follow me down on Twitch. Sorry for all the self-promotion, but you got to follow me down on Twitch. Saturday Saturdays, we gave 93 mil giveaway. Falador Party Room was tons of fun. Then we did another smaller giveaway, but it's fun. And it is going to be a lot of fun for me to be a main and enjoy that and just, participate in the economy and stuff. And do content I truly want to do. And best thing ever, buying Implings. Holy fuck. I will be enjoying that, hopefully. We'll see if I even, we'll see how it goes. But enough about that. Andy Morgan. To me, it seems like it would be much harder for new or returning players to start fresh on a fresh economy instead of having the market flooded with skilling supplies already from experienced players' PVM drops. Yeah, I think, at least how I took it was, I think Jagex is just kind of saying stuff just to make it seem like it's more popular than it is. I really don't see this being enticing to brand new players. I really don't. Brand new players are like, they don't even know what the fuck this is. They're gonna see Fresh Start Worlds and be like, what? Like, brand new players have no idea what they're doing. Literally, RuneScape is so ancient that, like, they're expecting, you know, microtransactions shoved in their face. They're expecting, like, arrows pointing everywhere and, like, you know, doing stuff. They have no idea what they're doing. They are not going to start on a fresh start world. Jagex just said that, in my opinion. They just said that. What this truly is for is the vast amount of players that have played this game years ago and would like to participate in a new economy. And I think there's actually a lot of desire for that, believe it or not. That's my opinion. If I'm mistaken, let me know down in the comments. Bill says, I think it's a waste of time. Would honestly rather have another leagues. I think leagues are going to continue to happen. I'm certain there will be another league next year that they'll announce in September for the summit. Why not have both? Well, again, we'll talk about my opinions on this whole matter later. Sani asks, would rather we focus on updating the main game to bring in new players rather than just add another server world? Seems like a lazy band-aid fix to increase new player base instead of addressing problems with early game. It's obvious executives are pushing for more new players. I just don't see... I think them even mentioning new players is completely irrelevant. It's just something to say. That's how I see it. It's just something to put in there to make it seem like, oh, I'm not a new player. Maybe new players do. No new player will have any fucking clue what a fresh start world is. They will not. And if they do, it's going to be the same shit show as starting on a normal world. They're going to think it's the normal thing. In fact, 6 months later, when they get migrated, they're going to be like, what is happening? Even though it's pretty much the same thing, you know, but it's weird. We'll see. Novelty asks, from a marketing perspective, I think it's worth a shot. Low dev time, incentive for new returning players, not to feel everyone is years ahead of them progress-wise. It has almost no use for regular players, but even if it brings in a couple hundred new players, it's a dub. I do feel a general response has been, stop wasting money and time on this X thing in the game, but I think they've already stated that it won't use up much time to implement, so I feel the impact on regular players would be minimal. Not sure about GP, etc. carrying over. Yeah, based. That's what we've been talking about. Great. TM19 thoughts? Why? What I'd like to see in its place? Literally anything else. Okay. Pitbull says, I don't know, but I'm scared for bot farms on them. I don't know if I should be, though. Again, it comes down to incentives. Is there any incentive to play this? There will be bots regardless, no matter what they do, even if there's just no reason to play it. There's just always going to be botters. You know, it's just the way of the world, unfortunately. But I will say the botting will be way less, I could imagine. Well, hopefully. That's what I imagine. We'll see. Tyler Maraglia says, the suggested tasks system would help bring new players of this game 100% more than a fresh start. A fresh start for everyone means a much longer grind for everyone, and the daunting grinds of OSRs definitely keeps people away already. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see that, like, questing might be more difficult, but it's just like starting any Iron Man in a way. Like, progress is really fast nowadays. It really is, unless you're just, like, really very, very, very casual and you just don't know the methods. You see Iron Men that cannot participate in the economy. Max, like, look at Alpha. I mean, Alfie's, you know, Alfie maxed his Iron Man. Of course, it was a group Iron Man, but, like, he maxed that fucking quickly as hell. Like, there is a lot of updates. We're not playing on a 2007 server. We're playing, like, the game we have right now, which is crazy fast to, like, level up, even without a Grand Exchange or anything. That was my point, basically. But yeah, I mean, if you're gonna play a main, this will significantly decrease your efficiency for sure. Iron Life isn't for everyone, especially at first, so maybe having an established economy, high-level players with money that do help low-level poor players, and a task system to help those overwhelmed by options will help bring in and hold new players. I agree with that. I agree with this guy simply because, yes, I do not think any of this has anything to do with new players. I genuinely don't feel that. I think it'll bring in new returning players, like players that haven't played in 14 years. I could definitely see that happening. But absolutely brand new players, no, just fucking play on the main game. Like, honestly. All right, PM says, again, pink helms for all fresh start player when they enter the main game. Sure, let's do it. Third age Gucci flip-flop / Uja says, I would rather see some new content added to the main game personally. I won't be playing since a new account is required, and I would rather play my main. I am excited for the high scores race, the evolution of the new economy, and the content creators making stuff with it, though. Also, would have rather had it be a vanilla relaunch. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. There's pros and cons, or a lot of cons. Let's just say there's cons to both. I mean, there are a few pros, obviously, but yeah. We'll talk about that in a sec. Shabub says, I just want total level worlds to be playable before they add more servers. Ridiculous that the most prestigious worlds offered as a small reward along the way to max are laggier than the average Wintertodd world with 1,400 players on it. Yes, there's a lot of fucking server issues. Like, god damn it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's not, servers fix them. David says, easy Q4 cash grab for Jagex to appease investors. Super niche and probably exclusive for burnt out max normies plus high score chasers. I disagree with the final part, and that's only because I do think a metric fuck ton of people are going to create an account for this. They'll probably burn out in a month. Potentially, we'll see. But I think the hype will actually be insane. I really do. Etten the Breton says, I'm excited. I love seeing wipes happen in any game. Example, Tarkov. I want us to have new players play and stick around. Anything and everything they're trying is like casting out a net. I don't think there can be only one perfect thing done that will attract enough new players. One thing I would like to see is an archive of the high scores at the end so that they are permanently stored somewhere and easily searchable. It's been pretty sad to see all the league's high scores lost and overwritten once the next league starts. That's a good fucking point. I never really considered that. I've never really played League, so that is a little bit unfortunate that you can't go back to a few past leagues and see what the high scores were. I wonder if they have those saved. I doubt maybe they've overwritten them. We'll see, but that would actually be kind of a cool feature. I don't know if it's going to be a recurring thing. If this all does pan out exactly how Jagex proposes it, I really do wonder if they're going to do like these 6-month things over and over. I mean, I guess we'll see how successful the first one is. Okay, Carlos says, it's a simple fix. Literally do what every single other MMO do. Make it a permanent server. If they didn't merge both fresh worlds and old servers or actually added a new permanent high scores to it, I would be down to playing it. But making it temporary gives the league's vibe. Yeah, I do agree with this. I do. It's tough, though, because, like, that's where the idea is kind of flawed. Is like, I agree that, yes, a new thing that does not have accelerated rates should be permanent. I mean, that's going to fucking suck toward the end. Like, that is when people burn out. Well, no. I mean, yeah, I think it would be better if it was permanent. But then again, that is a bad idea in and of itself because, like, why are you just going to separate? Like, are you just going to do this every year now? Just make a new, like, fresh? It's tough. That's why I have my own little idea that we'll talk about in a second. I've been just baiting you guys to stay here. J Abyss says, imagine at the end of 6 months, all the GP and items we bring into the main game. In one day, all come over, easy crash. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it'll do something to the economy, clearly. Especially because every single person is going to be a main account. Yeah, that will probably have some sort of effect. We'll see, though. Also, what happens at the end of 6 months where you have like offers in the GE and buy offers and sell offers? Does that all just like go like cha-chunk like over to the new game worlds? Like just I have no idea the technical side of this, but it's going to be an absolute shit show, I believe, like development wise. I don't know. Tyler says, just don't see a point in playing it. He'll play it. Steebag. Okay. I think it's going to be interesting to see what the economy will do. I'm not going to play it myself, but I think it's whatever. Like they said, they're just trying stuff out. No harm done. Totally agree. Totally based. Shout out Steebag. Manic. Okay, so there was a mention earlier, I think from Uberu, that mentioned something about Manic's tweet. So let's see what he says. They are adamant about it being for new/returning players, but what benefit is there for new players secluding themselves from experienced players and having a limited fresh economy? Seems like a smokescreen cash grab for existing players to race for temporary high scores. It has nothing to do with new players. It really doesn't, in my opinion. Let me know down in the comments if I'm wrong. Would rather than focus any dev time to additional new player experience features and marketing those and recent improvements to entice new players. Yeah. It would have been a lot better if Jagex just, we'll see. I mean, there's a big PR team behind this. They're like, include the new players. Just do it. But they would have been a lot more honest if they had just said, yeah, we're doing this because there's a niche group of players that would love a fresh high scores, fresh economy. Go at it. Everyone's a main account. Just fuck around for a little bit. I mean, who knows? Because then it's just like admitting it's a cash grab, but like at least they'd be honest about it. Again, my opinion. Polo Bay. Oh, God. What is this? Not my thoughts exactly, but something to discuss maybe. OSRs. Let's help new players play the game by adding in adventure paths and activity advisor system. So I'm not really going to go into this at all. I guess we'll show the pictures. Okay, here is my personal problem with tasks. It's personal. I don't really like necessarily being told what to do. I know, like, generally that is just very successful with games, task systems. People love being told what to do. It's cool and all. I probably have it a little bit. I do. I mean, I do like kind of being told what to do, but I really enjoy RuneScape because I get to just do whatever the fuck I want as well. So I don't know. I mean, this just sounds like a league. Let's just leave it to Leagues 2023, in my opinion. DZL Smoke ranks. Idea of having a high score that ends at the end of 6 months time period. Yeah. I mean, it's like Leagues ranks. I guess that's kind of how it would be. In its place, server maintenance. I agree. 2013 was a okay, Fancy said, I'm not reading the names. DZL Smoke, Joe, Fancy. Fancy says 2013 was a fresh start because OS wasn't min-maxed to shit. Now any new races will be non-competitive unless you get 20 EHP per day, so no real interest. Wish Jagex would try to get new players while helping old players via more content and more community support. Speedrun Cup. What else do you say? It also seems impossibly niche. New players who don't want to play with high levels or most other players for 6 months, who also just don't want, who also don't want to be Iron Men, who also don't have an old account they'd rather return to. I feel like the answer is more free to play and low level PVM to help. Now, I will just say, like, it's not exclusively for just skilling. I mean, they've made it pretty clear there is no reward to being the best and playing the most. Yeah, you'll be on the high scores for those competitive players, but those would have been the competitive players regardless. I think there's going to be something kind of magical. This is I'm breathing in heavy copium right now. I think there's going to be something kind of magical about just kind of reliving a little bit of just a fresh economy. And every single person you see is level 3 from the beginning. There are no whips in the game. There are no dragon scimitars in the game. Like, that's fun. That is fun. People do like that. They really do. I would like that. And everyone's a main account. And I think that's kind of cool because if there was rewards, people are like, oh, it's clan man mode. You just fucking, everybody just, this guy's going to win because he's getting fed by his clan, everything, because it's literally you can trade, you know? But there isn't any of that. It's just, it's a sandbox for 6 months. Do whatever the fuck you want. Everyone starts out fresh. You could be the first one to pull something huge. And, you know, it's just like playing like a little microcosm of what we have right now, except it's brand new, fresh. It's, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, again, maybe it's the copium. I'm just heavily just fucking breathing in. But I think there is something to this. I really do think. I think the huge amount of backlash has kind of blinded people, pigeonholed them into just thinking, oh, it's a fucking cash grab. People are going to play this. People will fucking play this. Especially if they make some alterations. But right now, I think people are going to play this 100%. I feel like the answer is more free to play and low level PVM to help player retention. I did miss that. In games like World of Warcraft, you can get max level in a week and start raiding. In OSRs, it's several months or years for the casual player. Yeah, that's the big problem, is it's only 6 months. And again, we'll talk about it. There's obvious flaws with this whole system. I'm just giving the basics about the magical experience initially. Let's see. I'm not going to read about the whole, like, them losing money or whatever. I just don't give a fuck. Cherry says, why are we spending money on this shit? I don't even think they're spending money. I think they're literally taking money from you, Cherry, because you, Cherry, are going to play this mode. And I will actually, you know what? I will give you 5 gifted subs, Cherry, if you don't play whatever comes out. You know, like whatever. I'm assuming there's going to be some alterations made to this. You will play this. So I'm not actually going to have to gift you 5 subs because you're going to fucking eat your own words on this tweet because I know you're going to play this. You've started a hardcore Iron Man. You're one of those people that just follows everybody, you know? So shut the fuck up. No, we're close enough, Cherry and I, so I can say this again. I know who this is. Anyway, who thought this was a good idea? I don't know, but you're still going to play it. All right. Furry wall. Now I'm getting like, now it's like almost like I'm taking Jagex's side. I promise to God I promise to science that, or I don't know what I'm saying. All I'm saying is I'm not paid by Jagex to make this video. I'm giving my honest thoughts. I'm not trying to be like devil's advocate, like, hey, maybe Jagex, has something. I'm not being paid for this. Talk about bonds. Yeah, so pretty much like you can transfer. Okay, so here's I haven't thought about this much, but I don't think you can just transfer stuff to the main game. You can just, there's going to be a conversion rate to play over there, but like nothing's getting transferred over to other worlds. It's just, in this world, 1 mil is worth 5 mil in normal. I don't know what it'll be. Conrad says, don't think it's a good idea. The worlds will be swarmed with rank chasers and people who will transfer gold between the server and the main game. Again, you can't transfer stuff. I don't think there's any transferring. I could be wrong. I'm pretty tired. I'm not going to lie. I've been up all day. But Champion's Cape. I don't like the fact that the progress or in-game items and wealth can transfer from the Fresh Start world to the main game at any point. Oh, is that what it is? Just because you can leave at any point. But that's the thing. You're literally like you're not. Yes, I mean the economy there will constantly be items leaving the game, which I don't see why that's a problem. Isn't that what everybody fucking wants? Items leaving the goddamn game mode. Like that is like brilliant actually. I don't know why everyone's butthurt about that. It shouldn't transfer at all. I don't know. I kind of disagree with that. This opens the floodgates for gold farmers, bots to abuse less populated worlds, rev caves without PKers. We'll see. We will see. But then again, if the rev caves are open, that's just more incentive for PKers to come. It all balances out, you see. Isaac says, I think it's a really cool idea. People get way too attached to their accounts. If you don't see the appeal of a wiped, fresh world, then it's not for you. Go work on... Oh, my God. All right, that's enough Twitter for today. That is enough Twitter for today. All right. Guys, let's put this away for real quick. I want to talk now about a little bit of my ideas. Just simple things. Just I'm not insisting or anything. Just things that I've been thinking of with all this, with all the comments. You know what I was thinking? What if they did make some change? So it's not just the exact thing that we have right now. This was my idea. What if it could be however long, 6 months, unlimited, whatever. Unlimited scares me slightly, although it does incentivize me personally to play more. I don't really like temporary game modes. A lot of people are totally fine with it. I'm like really nerdy when it comes to progression. I just want like, okay, I have his account. I don't want it fucking getting deleted. This one won't get deleted, obviously. But in my idea that I'm about to share with you guys, I mean, it would have to be deleted. My idea, and I've talked about this on past Sebe casts, past rambles. It's a silly idea, but what if a brand new game mode were to come out, or not game mode, a brand new world, exactly kind of how they're putting it, except every single thing is tradable. Every single item is tradable. Every single item is tradable, which means I don't know how it would work with quests. I think it would break quests. Honestly, I just had in my mind one small favor, just getting the final thing you need and then just like glitching the quest and finishing it immediately, because you can literally trade any fucking item. You can trade master caskets. You can trade infernal capes. You can trade everything. Everything can be traded and dropped and seen by everybody. I have not thought this through, but I thought it would just be such a unique experience that could be had. And it's not really a league where you're getting rewards for it. This could be a league idea potentially, but let me know what you guys think. I'm not too terribly, I haven't thought this through. There's probably a fuck ton of cons that I have not considered, but imagine that, you know, instead of it just being the exact same game we know and love, there is a twist. And that is that just you can trade everything. Everything's available. Everything's free to, you know, get whatever you want. Let me know how you guys feel about that. The other thing that I would personally like, this is my own personal take, is I want Mithril Man mode. And I know there's a big chunk of the community that absolutely despises new game modes. I'm all for them. I think new game modes are just fine and dandy. Put them in the game. Who cares? I've been wanting hardcore Ultimate Iron Man to come out. I think that's great. Just a little red trim around your like white helmet, you know, that'd be kind of cool. Hardcore Ultimate for the masochists and sadists out there. Also, I think what would be really cool is Mithril Man mode, though. Mithril Man mode, you guys have heard it on Reddit a bajillion times, and probably I've talked about it. It's a mode where it's basically just a big group Iron Man. You cannot use the Grand Exchange, and you can only trade other Mithril Man. So you're still in just the normal worlds like everybody else, except you can only trade with Mithril Men. So it's like a big, giant group Iron Man sort of kind of thing. Fresh economy, sort of, but you're still in the main worlds, you know, doing your own little path and adventure. I think that's a cool idea. There's probably some cons to it, of course, dividing the community like everyone says. Personally, I'm not, you know, our community has been divided over and over and over and over and over. I mean, I think the only people that are truly butthurt about it are PKers. I don't mean to pick on PKers, but it's just a simple fact. Iron Man modes destroyed the wilderness. It did. It created a brand new player base of people that have zero incentive to fight back or participate in the wilderness. You gain nothing from it. Now, of course, there's loot keys now, which maybe you gain something if you care about playing a main on the side of your iron, but most Iron Men just play exclusively Iron Man. And you go out there and the wilderness, yes, I mean, there has been a clear division. You could see it, like, just the hatred of the wilderness. It's not because, in my opinion, it's not because people are like more babies now. It's simply because there is zero fucking incentive for any Iron Man. You will see most mains out there. Most mains don't really complain that there's a wilderness. In fact, those are always the people yelling on Reddit like, grow up, it's the wilderness you chose. It's the fact that there's a huge chunk of the player base that can't participate and have the fun of killing somebody and looting their shit because they're an Iron Man. So there has been division from new modes coming out. But I think the only division it's really come from is the PK, you know, group versus, you know, everybody else. That's what it seems like, all the Iron Man modes, which is a big, it's a much larger portion than PKers. So anyway, I think those two modes would be really fun. I think just taking a little bit of a twist on it. The other thing I kind of thought, and this is very silly as well. These are just ideas I'm just chucking out there. They're just silly. If you guys have any ideas, leave them down in the comments. What if I thought about this for a league idea? This is like just taking away the aspect of everything transferring to the main game. This is just pretty much my own idea of a 6-month league. This is what it would be. It is everybody starts out maxed on Tutorial Island. You start out with a max cape and nothing else. Start on Tutorial Island. And all the XP you gain is actually negative XP. So what you're trying to do is get to all level 1 stats. That is the objective of the entire game mode. But as you lose levels, like for example, you're training agility, you start out at 99, you're doing arty. All of a sudden you get to level 89. You cannot do arty anymore. You got it. It's basically like reverse. Like you're working on getting to level 3. So you see level 3 combats and you're like, holy fuck, you fucking won. You're a king. You are a goddamn king. I think that's a really cool idea. It would be another kind of sadist, masochistic mode, but I think it would be kind of interesting. And I think giving it 6 months is enough. Yeah, it's probably enough time for a few people to unmax completely. We'll see. Let me know what you guys think of that. It's basically Benjamin Button syndrome. Benjamin Button mode. Let me know what you guys think. I'm trademarking that right now. Benjamin Button mode. Actually, I could plaster my name. Sebe mode. There we go. Fucking plaster my own name on it so nobody ever forgets. No, Benjamin Button mode. What do you guys think about that? Everybody starts out with a max cape. Nothing else. Oh, by the way, your max cape only works until you lose 1 XP. So that max cape, you basically just alch it. How much does a max cape alch for? Okay. 60k. You start with 60k in your fucking inventory. That's pretty much. You can't even. Oh, actually, you can now because you're 99 magic. I'm losing my mind here. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about those 3 ideas. Mithril Man mode. A mode where every single fucking thing is tradable in the game. These are just little twists. Of course, nothing would ever transfer over into the main game. These are simple ideas that are completely unrelated to what we've seen from Fresh Start Worlds. And Benjamin Button mode, Mithril Man mode, and Hardcore Ultimate I've always wanted to see, but also the mode where everything's tradable. Let me know what you guys think about that. That's pretty much it for me. I am very eager to read your guys' comments down in the description. And by the way, guys, if you forgot to like the video, be sure to pop that like right now and be sure to sub. And I also just want to quickly shout out the channel members. Thank you very much for supporting me. I love making RuneScape videos. I love streaming. I love being a content creator. Thank you very, very, very much for your support. And as always, guys, have a great night. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.